So it turns out America has its first gay president. Were you aware of this? Gay and black, no less.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Barack Obama has retroactively been outed from the closet. He had a phase of batting for the other team while in college, so it wasn't the only thing he was bumping in college.
That confirmed? Do we know that?
Well, he at least suggests that he wanted to.
Right.
So,
yes,
that's damning enough, I suppose. But before we get into that, I just wanted to plug this Brokenomics with Laura Dodsworth and Patrick Fagan on the new book Free Your Mind.
Yes.
Because someone who's conspiratorially minded might well suggest this is a psyop.
Right.
So,
and her book is all about psyops.
It is, yeah, and how to fortify yourself against.
It's a good book. That everybody should read that one, or at least watch the Brokenomics. Which
it was a great discussion, yeah. And the Democrats know plenty about fortifying. So I'll get into the story. So this has been a thing for a while. This is all the way back in 2012. There was an article from The Nation, and I'll just read out this paragraph of obvious conspiracy theories. You probably know by now that President Obama is a Muslim who professes socialism and that he's born in Africa, which makes him ineligible to occupy our highest office. But here's something you may not know. Obama is gay. Not only is he gay, he frequented gay bathhouses in Chicago, along with his former chief of staff and current Chicago mayor, Rahm Emanuel, the man who said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Yeah. And not only did he frequent those bathhouses, he was under the influence of a transgender nanny when he lived as a boy in Indonesia. Plus, he was married to his Pakistani roommate while attending Occidental College. One theorist says he wore a ring at the time and was a homosexual symbol for women to stay away. He had a cocaine-fueled romance with a right-wing activist, an ex-convict named Larry Sinclair in 1999, who of course wrote a book about it, and orchestrated the murders of another gay lover and 2 gay associates from the Reverend Jeremiah Wright's church just before Iowa caucuses in 2008, all of which helps why he married, in the words of one Obama investigator, a mannish wife with big muscular arms. Now, all of those things are obvious conspiracy theories, YouTube. Politico, please do not fact-check us.
Do you know who the original conspiracy theorist that he was born in Africa was?
Yes, it was Hillary Clinton.
Well, actually, I was going to say it's Barack Obama, because in his first book he said that he was born in Kenya.
Did he really?
Yeah, and then they retracted it, and they changed the book afterwards.
See, I know Hillary Clinton was the person that raised it first, and then Trump picked it up and ran with it. And then Obama's African half-brother has said that he was born in Kenya.
Yeah. As well as Obama himself in his book. So
right. Well, I haven't read that bit, but fair enough. So that was all conspiracy theory, except for one maybe little bit, and that is that his biographer came out and did this interview a little while ago that said he had gay fantasies while in college, and he admitted it to an ex-girlfriend. I'm just going to read from this interview from the Tablet magazine with David Garrow, who wrote Dreams of My Father, you know, the big Obama biography. And he was asked, how did you get 3 women, Obama's college and law school girlfriends, to give you Obama's love letters? And what was the most surprising thing you found in them? And Garrow said, with Alex McNear, she was Obama's girlfriend in Occidental College. Oops, Freudian slip. I think she wanted to have her role known. So when Alex showed me the letters from Barack, she redacted one paragraph in one of them and just said, it's about homosexuality. So he's known about this since the book was written, but he hadn't had access to the paragraphs. And then sometime, right about when Rising Star came out, Alex indirectly sold the original, those letters, and they ended up at Emory. So Emory put out a press release saying, we've gotten these rare letters by Barack Obama. No mention of this paragraph that was too sensitive. None of the papers mentioned it. Emory didn't mention it. So I sent one of my oldest friends, Harvey Clare. Harvey was the guy going back to 1980 when I was trying to solve who picked Dr. King's close advisor, Stanley Levinson, how it was known to the FBI that he was a communist. So I emailed Harvey and said, go to the Emory archives. He spent his whole life at Emory, but they won't let him take pictures. So Harvey has to sit there with a pencil and copy out the graph where Barack Obama writes to Alex about how he repeatedly fantasizes about making love to men. Yeah. So we have the letter. So here's a quote from the letter. In regard to homosexuality, this is Obama, by the way, so don't clip this out of context, I must say that I believe this is an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal, perhaps, to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You see, this is Obama, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. He was 21 at the time, and he wrote to Alex in 1982, in November. My mind is androgynous to a great extent, and I hope to make it more so, until I can think in terms of people, not women as opposed to men. But in returning to the body, I see that I have been made a man, and physically, in life, I choose to accept that contingency.
So this is like the Biden daughter letters, where Even when they confess to it in their own hand, we're supposed to ignore it for some reason.
Yes, where Joe Biden's daughter said that she showered inappropriately with her dad.
Yes, when she was like in her teenage years.
Yeah, and all of Hunter Biden's laptop information where he said, I shared a bank account with my dad. I did business on behalf of my dad. Yes. My dad knew I had a drug addiction. My dad knew that I was creepily close to my niece.
Yeah, and when you mention this to Democrats, they just say, you haven't got any evidence. Well, yeah, apart from
the physical laptop,
and
the physical diary that the FBI raided James O'Keefe's
and a
house
confession and all that.
Yeah, him, all of his text messages and want Obama's own letter.
Yes,
but anyway, this is just a crackpot conspiracy theorist. Obama's ex-girlfriend who he wrote the letter to. So this Alex McNear, she dated Obama during his year at Occidental College in LA. She later redacted the paragraphs, and then Garrow had hunted them down, including them in his tome Rising Star. Garrow said, there was nothing unusual about Obama's youthful musings. I'm a historian, not a psychologist, but I think it's public record that news that a vast, majority of human beings have sexual fantasies.
I'm kind of confused as to why you would mention this to your girlfriend.
Well, I wonder if he was testing the boundaries of trying to break up with her. Because, so there's a bit from the first interview, right? And it says, Barack's love letters to Alex, if they're actually love letters, are hard to read. Not just because they're so poorly written, very racist, but because of the clear lack of any human interest in the person he's writing to. The letters are completely performative. She may as well have been a tree or some kind of theatre backdrop. Maybe all young men are guilty of this fault, but these examples seem pretty egregious. I don't think all young men are guilty of confessing gay romances in their dreams.
Yeah, very true.
So I wonder if he's just trying to palm her off by saying, I might be more interested in men
or maybe he's trying to line her up for a threesome, but the bad kind.
Isn't that train?
No, I think you need more of that. I don't know.
I'm not nearly as uncultured to need to count. But point being,
I'll look it up.
There are maybe more dignified ways than trying to make your girlfriend break up with you so you don't feel too bad than saying, I like men. That was Barack Obama, by the way. Don't clip that out of context. Lotus, he just clipped out of context. So it didn't really work at all. And Ashley St. Clair points this out in her tweet because she says, if you think women aren't petty, just remember Obama's ex held onto a love letter he wrote for her, and now the entire world is calling him gay 40 years later because she leaked it.
They're calling him gay because he said that he wants to make love to men.
True, but we wouldn't know about that except for that Nation article 2012 that called it.
There is the Big Mike thing. I don't know if you're.
Well, I don't know if we're allowed to discuss that because we might get Joan Rivers.
Right,
but bear in mind, Michelle Obama is a woman, very large, very muscular woman.
Yes, good back.
Yes. And so things that we can't talk about, I suppose. Is it all a psyop? Because there was another interesting thing in that tablet interview, right? And they said, what interests you most about Obama today? And Garrow replied, the number one thing about Barack this past 5 years is how he's completely vanished. It's quite curious, isn't it?
Into Martha's Vineyard in that massive house.
Yes. Do you remember when he went, I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel, it might have been Fallon, when he said, would you like to do a third term? And he said, no, not really. But if I could just wear a microphone and whisper into the ear of someone else and get them to do exactly what I wanted remotely from a basement, that'd be a great thing.
Like Bill Gates does.
Yeah. Well, so you know how Joe Biden always walks around wearing that earpiece and he's told by his handlers to like salute the Marines and things like that?
Right.
Well, I'm not suggesting any conspiracy theories here. It could just well be that Obama gives his old friend Joe a good ring every now and again,
Amazing.
and sets a few policy suggestions, perhaps. And he doesn't need to be in the public limelight to do that because, of course, he's been voted out of office. And so there would be things that would hopefully not put him in the public eye.
So there was that drinks reception I remember seeing the footage of where both Obama and Biden were present at the same time. And it was clear everyone in the room considered Obama to be the alpha. And they were basically ignoring Biden, who was president at this stage, to go and queue up to talk to Obama.
Yes. And also, so this news story leaks, right? Fairly innocuous in that it distracts the right and makes us laugh about it and go, see, we told you so. We always knew he was a bit light in his tan suit. And then the left to go, well, one, it doesn't make him gay. But two, even if he was gay, why are you being homophobic? In fact, this is another bit of confirmation that America is simultaneously deeply homophobic because you're excoriating a president for maybe having a bit of a questionable stage in college. And also, this is a win for us because we've had our first gay president by the back door, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right. So this doesn't damage Obama at all among the people he is already liked by.
Okay, yeah, fair point.
But what might damage him is this. Yeah. the mysterious death of his family chef. So that was like,
I can see where this is going.
About 2 weeks before.
Right.
No, I'm not suggesting any conspiracy theories. I'm just suggesting
obviously
there's a bit of a unfortunate timing here for Barack and Michelle. So this is Tafari Campbell. He was 45 years old, and he worked in the White House before staying with the Obama family after Obama left office in 2016. So he's stayed on at their Martha's Vineyard home pretty concurrently ever since the Obamas left office. On the Sunday, and this was the 25th of July, this piece was published in the BBC, he went missing in the waters of Edgartown Great Pond on Martha's Vineyard. Now, that's on the Obamas' estate. So he was on the Obamas' estate, living there at the time. The Obamas weren't there, so he wasn't working for them. So they were staying away, and he was paddleboarding, apparently. There was someone else paddleboarding with him.
Right.
And he had been visiting the Obama home from his home in Virginia, where he normally lives, at the time of his death. Why was he there if he wasn't working for the Obamas? Now, I understand maybe he's a really loyal family friend and he has full use of facilities because they trust him. And it's a very large estate and they might want someone to watch it. So that seems plausible. And basically, it's like a holiday home then, isn't it? Like when the people are away, part of your sign-on bonus is that you get free use of the grounds, very large grounds, very luxurious ones, in order to work as a live-in chef.
So I'm glad that you use the term free use because I'm wondering if that's Obama's angle with this guy.
Or Michelle's.
Yes.
So don't worry, we've been fact checked. We have nothing to worry about because the Associated Press chimed in, and as per usual, they answer a claim that they wish we'd made. So the claim is the Obama family's personal chef had been writing a tell-all book when he was found dead with injuries to his head in less than 4 feet of water. The 911 call also didn't go out until his body washed up on
4
shore.
feet.
It'll be fact checked. Don't worry. And Obama's personal coroner conducted the autopsy. So we've got quite a lot of claims in there. So the chef was going to write a tell-all book. He had head injuries. He drowned in less than 4 feet of water. The 911 call didn't go out until his body was found. And the Obama's personal coroner conducted the autopsy. There's a lot of claims to package into.
And he's Obama's type.
I don't know. Imagine him in a wig, in a kayak, maybe. Anyway, so this is the AP's assessment, right? So they fact-checked us. So they said false. Okay, good. We can put it all to rest. So the Massachusetts State Police said on Monday that Campbell didn't have any head wounds. Okay?
Yeah.
He was found in 8 feet of water, not less than 4 feet.
Interesting that they said no head wounds as opposed to, any abrasions anywhere else on his body.
Like the neck.
Well, I was thinking more the... I won't say it.
Yes. Also, the 911 call came in shortly after he fell off his paddleboard, not hours later. So, did the other guy who was paddleboarding call 911?
Watch him drown in 4 foot of water.
8.
Oh, 8, right.
Yes. Conspiracy theorist, don't you dare, right? Unfortunate that a man that was paddleboarding couldn't swim.
Yes.
Bit curious that. If he didn't have any head wounds, why did he drown? Maybe it was one of those climate change related heart attacks.
Maybe he wasn't watertight at this point. I don't know. I don't know how recently Obama had left.
Oh dear. And Obama's physician didn't do the autopsy.
Right.
So the man who probably wasn't familiar with his anatomy didn't do the autopsy. So that's fine. Right. There's also no evidence to support the claim that he was working on a book about the Obamas. But what would be in the tell-all book if he was going to write one?
Recipes, maybe? I don't know.
I didn't hear anyone really suggest that he was writing a book. But what would he have to tell about? Because the Obamas are all on the up and up, right?
Yeah.
So, bit of an odd claim for the AP to make. But at least we can put this to rest and say, for Campbell's family, our heart goes out to them. For the Obamas, obviously, they've lost a dear family friend. Sincerely, heart goes out to you. And at least this is a one-off. At least this has never happened before. Oh, bugger. Oh, dear. Well, that's not good.
Well,
so
Clinton had a chef die as well.
Yeah, the former White House chef for Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, called Walter Scheib, was found dead, drowned.
Drowned as well?
Drowned as well. In the mountains of New Mexico. His body was discovered off the immediate trail, approximately 1.7 miles from the base of a hiking trail. Scheib served as the White House executive chef from 1994 to 2005. He was personally hired by then First Lady Hillary Clinton. I have no information that would lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton, and I can in fact swim. Suppose we'll leave that one there.
Thanks for watching that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you'd like to support the work that we do here, then you can subscribe to our website for as little as £5 per month to get access to all of the work that we have on there, including the most recent interview from Carl, where he's talking to Thierry Baudet and John Laughlin about the future of liberal democracy. If you'd like to catch up with what Carl is doing on a day-to-day basis, you can follow him on Twitter at Sargon_of_Acad and on Getter at Carl Benjamin. Thanks again for watching and take care.